Minecraft at its core is a simple game. Simple blocks, simple mechanics, and a simple look. As an avid survival player, I've picked up a lot of mods over time. So here are my top 10 client-side Minecraft mods. Alright, so the first mod I want to go over is actually this mod right here, these clouds, all these fancy clouds. You see, this is the Better Clouds mod. It still feels very Minecrafty, these clouds, which is why it feels so appealing to me personally. But also, let's do a little compare and contrast. Yeah, so these are the vanilla clouds, very, very boring. Look at this one. This one's actually so lame. One big square cloud with all these little weird shapes going on. It's not as appealing. It's very charming, but it's not as appealing visually. And I think clouds could add a lot more to the game, which is why I use the Better Clouds mod. And here it is again with the Better Clouds mod. It's just such a big enhancement to the visuals of the game. Overall, this is like one of my favorite mods. It's one of my main mods I require when I play this game. Now, the second mod I used, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the Better Clouds mod in a visual way, is Simple Fog Control. Now, this mod is really, really nice for adding more depth into your world. You can see right here is a great example of how the fog creates a lot more depth in this little frame here, creating a lot more atmosphere as well, and also covering up chunk borders. The fog really helps cover those up and blend it out a bit more and feels very Minecrafty still. And this one's also extremely customizable, and it works even for the nether and underwater. So in the settings here, you can see here are my settings. I have it on 24 for the fog begin and the fog end on 85%. These are just percentage values, which makes it nice and easy. You can customize the underwater fog as well. And you can change like how much you can see underwater, and even the nether, you can change how foggy it is in the nether. And I think this is one of my favorite features. So using Simple Fog Control, you can create a really nice atmosphere in the nether and even in the overworld, making a nice thick hazy fog here in the nether, which is one of my favorite little like visual things, little visual aspects of this mod. And if I fly on over here to like even the basalt delta, it's a really thick haze, and it just like it feels way more immersive, especially in the nether. Like it feels so gloomy and so atmospheric. So Simple Fog Control is definitely one of another very important mod for my Minecraft experience. Another crucial Minecraft mechanic that almost everyone uses is the coordinate screen, the F3 debug menu. And this is what it looks like in modern versions of Minecraft. There's a lot more information, a lot more jargon that you simply don't need to know about if you're just playing the game and enjoying the game. So I use a mod called Better F3, and this is what the Better F3 screen looks like now. Now, obviously, it's a very, very customizable mod. You can put whatever information you want up on the screen and organize it and color code all of it. This is my specific config, which will be available if you download my mod pack on Modrinth. But this is, very simple. It gives me information that I might need. Some of it's a little redundant, or maybe not even redundant, but like unnecessary. Like the blue section here is kind of just more about chunks. But if you really didn't care about a lot of this information, you just wanted your coordinates and maybe your render distance and some of this other information like the light level and maybe your RAM usage up there in the right, you can do all that and customize it however you want. And it's just such a more pleasing way to look at the F3 screen. It's not nearly as much going on. It's all color coded and it's very pleasing to the eyes. In terms of inventory management, there's a lot going on with Minecraft's inventory management. It's very messy. Chests get disorganized all the time. You have to come up with these crazy redstone systems if you really want to stay organized. But I use a mod called Client Sort. Now here we have this chest, super disorganized. Sticks everywhere, iron, flowers, cut copper, tools, armor, you name it, it's all in this chest. And with a simple middle click, boom, it's all organized, nice and tidy, very easy to go through and find exactly what you're looking for, all grouped together. This also goes hand in hand with another mod of mine called ItemSwapper. Now this lets you, say for example, you keep some oak planks in your inventory and you're building a build. Let's say we're working on a little animal pen here. So, here's my little pen I'm gonna make. These are little corners, and I need some fences to put in here. So ItemSwapper allows you to switch between any of the similar items in your inventory at a quick glance without having to move your, opening your inventory and going through all of that. A simple switch, that's all it takes. So now I can go back to the stairs here and I can make a little staircase if I want to. I need some slabs. There's some slabs right there. Very, very quick, very, very useful. And it just makes building with multiple materials super, super quick, not having to constantly go in your inventory all the time. And it's also useful for like tool management as well. I use it a lot in my hardcore series to swap between tools in my hotbar, so I don't have my hotbar full of multiple different tools. So for example, I have my axe and my pickaxe there, and if I hold the item swapper button, I can swap between my two tools very quickly and do right what I want to do right away. Very, very nice. Very, very useful, and a little organizer right there. Put those back in, organize it again. Super, super useful. Moving on to our next mod, we have Particle Rain. It converts all the rain elements, usually it's just like a little overlay texture or whatever Minecraft default uses. This converts it all into particles that can be individually controlled. So let's turn on Toggle Rain real quick. And you can see it's very, very light. There's not a lot going on, but you can still tell it's raining. You still get the vibe. And then, of course, you can change the intensity of the rain with Particle Rain. So here, we're going to go to Thunder mode. It's going to get a lot more heavier. And you can also see better clouds, making more clouds. Another nice feature of better clouds. And it's just downpouring, absolutely downpouring. A lot more rain going on. I'll clear that up just so I don't ruin my video's quality too much. But it is very, very nice for quality, for also immersiveness a little bit too, because when it rains all the time in Minecraft, and frankly, it rains way too much in this game, it's nice to not have it be so obtrusive and be a little bit nicer on the eyes. Now, there's also some other cool features of Particle Rain. So with Particle Rain, when you're out in the desert and it's raining in the rest of the world, it actually has a sandstorm that comes through the desert, and it's very, very cool, very immersive. It still feels like, there's some sort of weather event going on. Usually when you're in the desert, it just has a really dark sky and it's not all that immersive. But this feels a lot more immersive, and I love how this feels. And then out here in a little bit of a snowy peak, the snow, very, very faint, very nice, very pleasing. Nice little snowflakes falling from the sky. And obviously, when it thunders and it's a bit more stormy, the intensity of the particles increase as well alongside with it. All right, let's clear up that weather. Very nice and pretty again. Now over here, we also have another example of another mod called Particular. And now Particular is another, entity particle-based mod, and it adds a lot of really nice quality of life stuff to water and just environmentalism. Another layer of immersiveness that this mod adds. And right over here, you can see it adds in these really, really pretty cascades for waterfalls, just nice little splashes, white splashes. Another water-related, particle-related mod we have is a mod called Wakes. Now, Wakes adds these very, very nice wakes that spawn right behind you when you're swimming, when you're in the boat, when you're generally messing with water. Wakes adds a lot of very cool overlays to the water and making it feel very immersive. I'm very big on immersiveness, okay? Don't get it twisted. But Wakes adds a whole nother layer of particles and immersiveness to this game that I absolutely am obsessed with whenever I'm boating around in an ocean or on a river. And also, another nice feature of it is when you jump into the water, bloop, a little splash there. It's very fun. It's a very nice mod, very, very neat, very niche. It even works for items. Look at that. And the last mod on the list of my particle related one is actually tile entity related. This next mod is called B.E.E.R. It actually stands for Block Entity Extended Render Distance. And over here you can see, look at those, all of that right there. All of these typically would be unrendered with vanilla Minecraft because of, it's trying to optimize the game. But when you're a builder like me and you build with those kind of details, especially banners and signs, those would all be unrendered. As you can see, we can't see any of the stuff that was just up there. You can see some of the shading but in vanilla Minecraft, all of that stuff is unrendered from this sort of distance, and you lose a lot of fidelity and a lot of extra detail. So with the B.E.E.R mod, you can see all of that stuff right there. You can see that weird banner right there says a really crazy word. I'm not sure. Subscribe? I'm not sure. But yes, indeed, the Block Entity Extended Render Distance mod, the B.E.E.R mod, is a must-have for my hardcore world, where I build a lot with these kind of fancy banners and signs, a lot of signs for sure. And losing that detail is very disheartening. And now I have another mod here that is very, very unnoticeable, but maybe some of you sharp-eyed people in the comments might have noticed what I'm going to point out here. This mod is called Raised. Now, do you see anything on your screen right now that screams out, this is the Raised mod? I'll give you a second. Okay, likely you didn't notice, But the hotbar here at the bottom is actually 1 pixel off of the bottom of the screen. So typically this is what the Minecraft hotbar looks like. Right on the bottom of the screen, there's no give, and it looks a little bit uglier. It does feel, you know, just like Minecraft, how it's supposed to be. But having that little gap there at the bottom, just a little 3% bump, just to show a little bit extra space there, is very, very nice. Now, some people actually, you know, maybe a Bedrock player or someone who plays on the old Xbox version might appreciate a bigger bump. Maybe you go up to 10%, maybe you even go up to 15%, getting a lot more lift off of the hotbar there and making it feel a lot more like you're playing Minecraft Xbox 360 like we all did back in the day. So some people like it like that. I prefer it just a little bit more unnoticeable and keeping it just a pixel off of the bottom of the screen there. Now this next mod is a little bit more technical, and it's one of my, you know, lesser used mods, but it's very, very useful to use overall. It is Tweakeroo, Mini HUD, and Litematica. I'm kind of all combining them into one single little mod showcase here. Now, first off, Tweakeroo, underrated, a very underrated mod. A lot of random tweaks to this game. You can do an auto hitter like this, where I periodically will punch with my sword. So if I'm AFKing at like an Enderman farm, I can auto punch, I can go AFK and just... But one of my favorite features is actually the block placement modifiers. So this fancy little overlay here allows me to place blocks adjacent to where this block is. So I can place a block up and to the right, a little bit cursed, you know. Typically when you're building a staircase, you need to be doing a little bit of this action, you know, a little support block so you can build over and build up. But with Tweakeroo, you can just build off to the side. And it even works going downward. It's a little bit cheesier like this because typically you can't do this in vanilla Minecraft. But it is definitely one of those mods that has helped me in so many situations, from having to place a little dirt block here, place a block here, then break that dirt block and rinse and repeat a million times. It's just a big time saver. And another nice feature of it is it allows you to place orientation specific blocks in any orientation you want, such as observers, in any direction you want. So if I want this observer to face me instead, I can place it like that. If I want to place it upwards, place it like that, place it to the right, place it to the left, all you want. You can place it with just a simple modifier button, and it just improves the placing of blocks in this game. It is a little bit more modded, and it feels a little bit less vanilla, but it helps me a lot when it comes to building and like messing with redstone. It's just a super useful mod overall. Then of course, Litematica. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of Litematica before. We grab a little stick over here. We can toggle Litematica to be enabled, and we can place down a schematic here. Now, Litematica is a whole nother egg in it, a whole nother nutshell. Very simply, it lets you load schematics and place them down in your world. So I have a bunch of schematics here, random stuff that I've made over time. Let's go with like this little build here. I have this little silo that I made in my hardcore world. It lets me place around these little schematics where it's like, okay, I want to build this. You can make little modifications. It's a nice way to preview what you're going to build in your world. If you're someone like me who, you know, I upload to YouTube and I don't have a lot of time between all my episodes to work on builds and to build them all authentically in survival like I do prefer. But building in creative and then bringing it over to survival mode is always very useful time-wise. Understanding the scale you're going to be building at and the blocks you're going to use. You get a nice little material list here, like here's all the andesite, deep slate tuff, and deep slate bricks, all the stuff that I'm going to need for this little build here. It lets me modify the placement of it using some little modifier keys. There's a lot to learn with Litematica, but it's definitely one of my favorite mods in terms of just time efficiency and building as well. Now the next few mods I have is actually related to producing a little YouTube video. So if you're a YouTuber like me, or maybe you're a little bit of a builder and you want to see your builds from different angles, you can use the Camera Utils mod. Now, Camera Utils lets you do a lot of really fun stuff, like this, for example. I have a little shoulder surfing perspective here. Lets me have a cool, unique perspective rather than the default, you know, F3 directly by my head ugliness, or even this one where it's a little bit further back and it feels a bit more top down. You can customize all these little unique and interesting perspectives. In addition to all those cool perspectives, you also get a nice little zoom mod. Nice little zoom, the easy animation and ease in animation. If you don't like the snappiness of like the Optifine zoom, a nice and easy zoom. And if you scroll with it, you know, a nice little modifier key, you can zoom in even further, and I can see this cow's butt all the way from over here. Another mod that goes hand in hand with the Camera Utils mod is the Freecam mod. Lets you set up little unique perspectives like this little camera tripod over here, then over here, hello, then even up here, hi. So yeah, Freecam lets you have all these unique little tripod positions. I use it a lot in my YouTube videos for little fun little moments where I like to talk to the camera, like to talk to the audience. Very fun way to interact and set up these little in the moment shots. I love it all the time. Also looking at my builds. So if I wanted to look at this little, I don't know, this abstract art I made earlier, I can, set up a little tripod here and I can look at it from that perspective right there. And then the third mod in this little camera related list is actually the Flashback mod. Now Flashback in its own self is very complicated. It's very much like a cinematography mod, very much builds into like camera work, and it mostly applies to YouTubers, people who make content, and it's very nice for setting up time lapses, making little montages, you name it. It's very complicated. Definitely recommend watching another video on it. All right, and my last and final mod, and one of my most favorite mods in this whole mod pack. It's so cool. Now listen to me. I'm a spaceman, obviously. I'm a little spaceman here. I got my two hobbies, filmmaking and space. Those are my two favorite things in the whole wide world. And this mod combines both of them. So, if we set the time to night here, get a little spyglass in our hand, you can see the beautiful night sky. It is so pretty. Now, what's even cooler is that this mod is real. Like, these are real star alignments in our Earth night sky. And you can find planets. Like, what is this one right here? Like, that is probably Neptune right there. Maybe even Uranus. But this is like such a fun mod. It's so cool. Another really cool feature about this mod is that the moon itself actually cycles differently than the sun like it does in real life. So even during the day, you can sometimes see the moon during the day, and you can see like little halos around it. It's very, very immersive, and the higher up you go as well, your magnitude changes and you can see even more stars. Look, there's a little firefly there from one of our other mods. Look at that. Look, even out here in the distance, right here past these clouds, you can see, I believe that's Jupiter actually, all with its little moons all surrounding it. It's such a crazy immersive mod, and if you're a big space fan like I am, or you just want to make nighttime look prettier, this is your mod. 100% Astrocraft is your mod. And because they're real stars, it means that there's real constellations, and you can find all of our real world constellations in the Minecraft sky. And with some other add-on mods, if you really cared, you can even make your own constellations, which I think is so dope. Look at this. You can find all of these crazy constellations just in the night sky. Look, there's I don't know the constellations all that well. Maybe that's Little Dipper. I really don't know. I'm not that good. And enough with the stargazing. That concludes my top 10 Minecraft mods I use to enhance my vanilla Minecraft experience. If you enjoyed, make sure to get subscribed or like the video, and I'll see you guys all another time. Bye.